Okay, so I barely did any vlogging yesterday because yesterday was travel day. Totally meant to, ritual day. Totally meant to do all the vlogging. And it was atrocious. I stuck you inside of my cabinet. Worst travel day. It was insane. Let's do some skincare. So I use basically all, I feel like Shiseido is, I feel like this is Japanese. I don't know. The name makes me think it's Japanese. Yeah, Ginzo Tokyo. Yeah, I was gonna say that name is giving Japanese. So it's Asian skincare mostly. I have some Lancome left, so I'm looking for, look at that, look, like the tiniest little bit. So I'm looking for a new toner. But mostly everything I use is Cosrx for like the majority. I use hyaluronic acid. Okay, anyway, the hyaluronic acid, I use the snail mucin, and I use the moisturizing lotion, and then I use, during the nighttime, I use the Paula's Choice liquid exfoliant one day, and then I use the retinol, the ink key list retinol, and then I use my cleansers, the Shiseido, and my sunscreen is the Shiseido. So that is my skincare. Let's get into it, because I gotta leave. I need to leave in like 30 minutes because we're doing birthday brunch with my bestie and one of my other friends. So I need to be ready for that. It is cold in North Texas, but apparently it is going to be warm again next week. I actually had to use a heating pad last night, which I'm like, oh, I guess it's time for me to change out my bedding and put some of my warmer bedding on there because it's cold. And I just line mine up in the way that I use them. And then that way, I just go down the line. But yesterday, longest travel day in the world, for me, not too long actually. So I had a 12 o'clock flight. Well, we were supposed to board at 12. We were gonna leave at 12:30. I was gonna get back to Dallas at like 1:45. Flight gets delayed by an hour. 1 hour. Then flight gets delayed by like 2 hours. Then it's delayed 3 hours. Then it's delayed 3.5 hours. And I'm just like, what? Because I have to be back in Dallas by, at the latest, I was like 6, I can make work. I wouldn't have a lot of time to do anything, but I could make it work. But I was like, I have to do that because I had an event. I had ritual last night at 7 o'clock, 7:30. So I need to be there at like 7 something before, obviously, because I need to set up the space. Which I'll try to like snag some pics from and all this other stuff, and maybe just do like a voiceover because I don't have any footage because I was just like on go, right? So I'm like, all right, is there an earlier flight? Are all the flights? What's the problem? Both flights that were going into Dallas that day from Hobby Airport were delayed. So, okay. And then I was like, well, American flies out of Hobby. So I was like, let me just go see if I can hop on an American flight. They're like, oh no, the American flight is delayed as well. So we're not taking any more seats for that. Oh my goodness. So now I was like, okay, worst comes to worst. I needed, my cutoff time was 2 o'clock. It is a roughly 4-hour drive, 4.5-hour drive from Dallas, from Houston to North Dallas, North Texas, up here where I stay. So I was like, at 4 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, I have to know so that if I need to drive up here, I can just drive home, grab my car. Because I was just going to pick up a car at Hobby, drop my car off at Love Field, and then like drive my car up home. But I talked to one of the service agents and she was like, hey, I can get you on this, because I was like, have they started boarding? Because if they've started boarding, then they should take off on time. And then they'll get here on time and I'll be okay. But she was like, they haven't actually started boarding, but the other flight that was late is already en route. So if you want, I can just switch you over to that Dallas flight, and then you'll get out on time. And I was like, that works. That's perfect. She was also able to refund me a little bit. And she was like, if you want a full like refund, get your points back and everything, you'll have to write that in. I'm like, okay. So that worked out fine. But I was ready. I had booked a car at budget and gone over to budget and was like tracking the flights and stuff. Because I was like, if I don't hear anything by 2, I'm going to grab a car and go. It was wildly busy though, because apparently they had a bunch of football games going on there. So there was not a lot of cars. People were really starting to get like hung up and not too happy about things. And I was like, oh my goodness, I really don't want to drive because that's 4 hours. I don't want to drive and then have to do ritual. And it just was like a lot of moving pieces, but it all ended up working out. And then tell me why the flight that I was originally on, which is one of those things where it's like, you have to kind of keep your cool, actually ended up leaving almost at the same time. Like the recovery flight, they just sent in another plane, I think, actually ended up leaving like, I think a couple of minutes after the flight I got on, but I was like, that's still okay, because they were scheduled to leave like 30 minutes after I was supposed to leave. And I was like, I cannot chance it, because y'all keep changing stuff up. I cannot chance it. So that is why there's like no footage from Friday. No, Thursday. Like Thursday was just like, So there's like no footage from Thursday because it was just way too much going on. So I gotta finish getting the cats together. I gotta finish getting dressed, and I have to get out the door. So. Hi. Okay, so I did not check in for the rest of the day. I went to brunch, and I don't think I ever finished my story about going to the, I don't even remember what I was doing, about travel day. So maybe this title will be like airport travel horror story, whatever. Anyways, so I had gotten the notification that my flight was delayed. I was on a very tight crunch when it came to time. So I was sitting in the budget airport, the budget center at the airport at 2 o'clock, because I was like, if I don't hear that this flight is en route to get me by 2 o'clock, I will just drive myself home. Luckily, like I had mentioned, they had found one that was en route. She was like, I will put you on there. I said, thank you so much. She did. They were kind enough to refund me, I don't know, some of the stuff I had paid for. So I got that. I got a voucher. So it worked out well. But I was just like, not here for it. I was like, y'all, and this is my thing, because I am not a person who will usually travel on when I have stuff to do. When I have somewhere to be that day, I'm not trying to travel like return flight that day, because I know that is iffy and that stuff happens with flights and that you can't control them. But that is also why I usually leave super early. I am one of the people who does the I take the earliest flight. Like, I am a 6 o'clock flight person. I am out that door. Oh, it's 6 o'clock? Yeah, I'm out the door. I am up at like 4 o'clock. No, I'm up at like 3, because it takes about 45 minutes to drive there. And I'm up there parking my car, going through security. I think security I think security opens at like 5, so maybe I leave it around like 3:30. But I'm up, and I don't care, because I, like, the first flights out will usually make it. So there's usually, like, unless there's an issue with the plane, then the first flight out is going to make it. So I like to take the first flight so that I can guarantee that I am going to make it wherever it is that I need to be. When I'm traveling for pleasure, or even sometimes when I travel for work, it's also nice, because then that way I have more time to like just hang out, wander around. And I am, when I travel, especially somewhere in the US, but even when I travel outside the US, I usually just rent a car. So if it's somewhere where I can, if it's somewhere like that has a public transport system, like New York or something, then like I'm not gonna rent a car. I can just ride the train or like Uber wherever I need to go, whatever that looks like. But also because of that, that then gives me freedom. Like, it gives me freedom to say, like, as soon as I get there, because, you know, you can't check into your hotel to whatever time. But if you have your car, it doesn't matter. You could just do whatever you feel like doing. Like, if you need to even still go and do some work, you can just go to find yourself a coffee shop. But even if you're in your hotel, like, you don't have to check in to be able to go work in the lobby. So, you know, you just figure out what works best for you when you're traveling. But I was just like, oh my goodness. It was not the best experience. But because of that, I was super tired, like super tired. I ended up getting back to Dallas. I'm filling out my emails for the day, so I need to join. Got back to Dallas, grabbed my car, headed out, took the expressway and took the not the HOV lanes, but I guess the tollways, so that I wouldn't be stuck in traffic, because it's 5 o'clock when I got back. So I was like on the road by 5:15, 5:30 roughly. And so because of that, that means I'm in, you know, rush hour traffic. So I'm taking the expressway or the tollway, so that way I know for sure that, okay, I'm gonna make it. And I have all this stuff up. You know what I realized? I just literally realized that I didn't do a full moon anything. I just fell at a really inopportune time. Oh, okay. So there's been something I've always wanted to do, and it started with the bath salts, and then I was like, I'm gonna do it. We are expanding the business, and I want to expand into the self-care because it's all the stuff that I talk about. I should have products and stuff related to all the stuff that I talk about. The journaling, the like, how do you take care of yourself, like all the self-care things. And I always like to use something that aligns with the different senses as well as elements. So maybe we'll talk about that at a later time, but I'm on the path now, and I'm excited to get there. So I'm coming home. I have to take care of the cats for a little bit. I do all of that stuff. I have to pack up all the stuff. And I still need to go, because I always bring some flowers and decorate with flowers for the ritual. So I have to go and get all the flowers for that ready to go. So I still have to stop at the store, and I need to be there. If it starts at 7:30, I need to be there at least by like 7:15, 7:20 at the latest, because I have to set up. And so I am like locked in, as the kiddos like to say. I don't have time to play. I am not here to play. I don't have time to play. I have to get this together, and I need to be on top of it, and I can't be, you know, just lollygagging around. I have to just really be on top of it. So that is what I do. Like, and so much so to the fact that I leave my phone at home. So even if something happened, if I was late or anything like that, I would not be able to tell them, because I didn't have my phone. So that was a moment, and I was like, oh well, it's just gonna have to be one of those things where everything works out. And then I have my phone case, which is what made me think I had my phone, only to find out that I did not. But then I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. You know, we will just get there and it'll be okay. And we did. We got there. It was okay. Ritual was fantastic. So that was not a problem. And I was very happy about that. because I was a little worried that I didn't have all my stuff together the way I wanted to, but it ended up being fine. Okay, I was looking because I was like, I feel like my TikTok address and my Threads address were exactly the same. They are not. It was just that they look very similar. Okay. And so I'm like 2 days now behind in releasing vlogs, but that is because I literally was just like, I do not have the energy. And even today, I'm like, I do not have the energy. Tomorrow, I don't have much going on, so I should have the energy. My battery's about to die, so I'm actually going to, I guess, call it a night. I will probably take some videos with my phone and put those in there so you can see my flowers I got for my birthday, or I might just do it tomorrow. But anyways, we're back now. I will see y'all later. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.